Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shipped podcast. A quick shout out to everyone who's been making fan art recently. That's just click not the right time, not the right time, man.
It's always the right time.
To all of the fan art that people have been making. It looks really amazing, and the click has been showing me some of it this morning. My hair is actually blue instead of purple, but otherwise, all of it's really good.
There's like this little small digression, like, by the way, you got my hair wrong, but otherwise, I guess it's fine. It's good, I guess.
No, it's fine. I love purple. My two primary colors for life, I guess, are blue and purple. Purple being a collection of my favorite colors, which are red and blue, and then blue just being one of the favorite colors of mine.
Oh, that's nice. So they almost got it right.
Yeah, real close.
Yeah, you have to color your hair after the fan art, I think. So now you color it purple just to match the fan art we're getting.
Hey, Click, your channel's back.
My channel is back, fam. Oh,
that's
it feels
amazing.
So good. Oh,
and you just recorded
a
video talking all about that. So I figured we could get a little bit more detail out of you.
Oh, yes, of course. We can have a bit more of a longer conversation.
Take us through what happened.
All right, so the video I recorded was on camera. It was way more emotional because I really got into it. So I'm going to talk about it more lighthearted on this podcast because otherwise otherwise I'm going to be exhausted. So what happened basically is that one of my videos got hit by a strike. And usually on YouTube you have a 3-strike system with 1 warning. So if you have no previous transgressions, you have 1 warning basically. So the first time you do something bad, like upload a video that is too vulgar or it has a bit too much swears in it or whatever the case might be, YouTube will take it down and give you a warning, but it's not an actual penalty. And after that you get strikes and you can't upload for a week and stuff like that. And a strike lasts for 3 months, and if you accumulate 3 strikes total before the old ones go away, your channel gets terminated. With the strike I got, it's one of the really bad kind, where your channel goes down with a single strike. Basically what they give people that upload videos featuring children in good positions, stuff that is pretty much illegal and like predatory and that kind of stuff. So I don't know why my video got marked like that. After it's back now, after everything is restored, the video it's still up, I don't have any strikes or warnings or anything. And the video is age restricted, and it was that before as well. That was actually the reason it was taken down, because it got age restricted. I censored the thumbnail because it was a bit suggestive. I mean, I can agree that an age restriction on that specific video is probably suitable. And I sent it back for a second review, and that's when the channel got taken down. So the case was escalated finally. It was in the middle of vacation, so it was obviously very bad timing. That's why it took so long, because the initial reviewer thought the video was super bad for some reason. I don't really have an explanation why, but either it was very personal or it was their first day or something like that. And the senior staff was on vacation, so it took some time because we had to wait for the seniors to get back. They had to escalate it and send it back to the review team, and then they had to get on it again, and then I could get the channel back.
Yeah, it was like 2 days before Christmas from my side, but you were already the morning of, so you were like the day before Christmas this all happened.
The day before Christmas, and it was 1 week after I decided to go full-time with the channel. So 1 week prior to this, I had handed in my resignation letter at work. I was going to go YouTube full-time. We had planned this podcast. We had Sad Milk on the way. My main channel was doing really well. It's like, I won't have time to have 2 jobs. I have to choose. And I chose YouTube, which is now my full-time job, I guess. I'm going to be a full-time YouTuber, man. And you too.
So, I guess that was very abrupt lead in. It's 2 weeks, fam, 2 weeks, and then that's it. That's it for me. And then I'm here. I'm here with all of you. Be making videos, sticking to that daily schedule that I tried to maintain forever. I had almost an 8-month streak where I was uploading daily, and that meant staying up very late and waking up very early to manage everything, and then going to the day job and totally crushing my day job because, promotions and raises and whatnot. And then at night, trying to stream and then do videos at the same time. I had such a tight schedule, and obviously it wasn't going to work forever, but I wanted to make sure it could work. One of the determining factors for me wasn't necessarily just the success of the channel, but how many people were impacted by it. One of the amazing things was people started thinking that I was worth throwing $1 or $2 at a month, Patreon or Twitch, They decided they wanted to support me. And because of that, I can afford rent. So I thought, all right, I told them a few months ago that if I could afford rent and food, then that's it. I would go full time and we'd build from there. And that's exactly where I ended up. It's going to be pretty tight for quite a while, but but this is exactly where I want to be, and I wouldn't trade it. And I did this full well in the knowledge that the Click did not have a channel, that this could go away at any time. But this is just like any other sales job where you rely 100% on commission. Like there's going to be some days where you don't make any money, and there's going to be some days where you make more money, and you have to balance that out.
Of course,
but it's all about whatever you're passionate about.
Whatever you do as an entrepreneur, it's always a risk. I mean, the potential is bigger, but the risk is also bigger. And that's basically everything in life. It's risk versus reward. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What happened to me is obviously an extreme case. I have heard of it happening before, but it's very rare. So luckily we were able to resolve it finally. My God.
Yeah.
It was
really
a stressful
glad you're back.
weeks.
Everyone is glad you're back.
Yeah,
it's been stressful for all of us. We've been kind of worried about you.
and I really appreciate you guys being there. You will see the video once it's up. It's pretty, it's more emotional, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna see. Let's see. When Click say emotional, is that also cursed? But it's so good to be back, and it's so good to know that all of you guys have my back, even when the business side has gone upside down. You know, when the channel was down, I had nothing to offer. I couldn't give people a shout out. I couldn't give collabs. I couldn't give sub boosts. You know, I was completely out of it business wise, and everyone was still there, and that means so much. And it also means that if something happens in the future to someone else, I will be sure to be there.
Oh wait, you have no channel. Kicked out. No.
Oh, you got deleted and you're struggling. Well, bye.
Shadow Realm. This Oz would say.
Raid trading mountains. No, actually, it would actually be cool with sponsorship. We shouldn't. Yeah.
I did a poll on. Oh, you are doing a sponsorship? I did a poll on Twitter saying, "What do all of you think about doing Raid Shadow Legends as a sponsor?" And I had 4 options on there. First one was, yeah, boy, get that coin. Second option was, if you do, I unsub. And the third one was, I what? And the fourth one was, I don't use the internet, which I thought was very funny. 54% of people said, yeah, boy, get that coin. But a frightening 16% of people said, if you do, I unsub, which is very strange.
That is strange. They might just be trolling, to be honest. And
I hope so, because...
the thing with... oh, sorry.
We need to go out and get that coin. Like it's hard to maintain a stable income without someone else, like without doing advertisements. And one of the great things that YouTube allows is those like inline advertisements. But because those are not that lucrative, they're very inconsistent. They don't always happen, and sometimes reviewers can screw up. It's good having like a reliable, guaranteed advertisement built into your video that you can rely on.
Oh yeah, yes. Like even if it gets marks for demonetization, because that can be kind of that can be kind of random at times. Like when I have had videos perform super well when it comes to monetizations, like how do even advertisers pay this for this video? It's ridiculous. And some videos that are like, well, this video should be monetized. It's very friendly. There are no swears. There's nothing bad in this video. And it's just like, no, demonetized. Like, why? So, I mean, I guess in the end they cancel out. So like it's like what I said with risk versus reward. It's like, some videos do better than you expected, some do worse, and your average is somewhere in the middle.
They demonetized my eye bleach videos. Both of them. I'm just going to say that. It's literally just cute animals. It says cute animals in the title. In fact, it says just cute animals. And then the thumbnail's just cute animals. All the tags are cute animals.
This is a fetish video. People that enjoy watching animals. This is super bad. We're going to demonetize.
So I just had my manual review done on r/1 job. So I'm going to switch. It says the monetization is on after a manual review. So I'm going to switch it to public now and hit save. Okay, so I just had a video go up. But historically what's been happening is after a manual review and it goes green, it still switches to yellow once I publish it. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one. But it gosh darn better stay monetized.
Otherwise, I'm going to cry and it's going to be really ugly to listen to.
One of the neat things that I think about my little journey of going to YouTube is that I will absolutely be making less money.
Ooh, yeah.
But I will have so much more freedom in my life that the trade-off is absolutely worth it.
Your money isn't everything.
One of the amazing comedic individuals on YouTube, Noel Miller, he is on a podcast with Cody Ko. They do a little podcast together, but he positioned a question to his audience saying, would you rather make $250,000 a year, but you're employed and you have to follow a bunch of tasks? Also, I apologize for the air that just turned on in the background. Or would you rather make $60,000 a year, but you could do anything that you wanted and you were self-employed? The majority of people said, well, obviously 250,000. I'm already employed by someone. Why would I want anything else?
Yeah.
And his reaction to that was very surprising. He said, you know, I can't believe that all of you are not saying the 60,000. Yes, it's less money, but you can do anything you want and you are responsible for your own happiness at that point.
Yeah. And that's what I like.
I really felt that. Like I don't even think I'm going to make
what
that
I
much,
went for
but...
too. No, I can really relate to it. For me it was before Christmas YouTube actually made more than my day job. I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way because now my channel slowed down after it's been down. Hopefully it speeds up a bit, but I'm not really super concerned about the money. As long as I can, afford rent and live relatively comfortable, I'm not going to complain. But for me, the freedom is such a big factor. Like at least in the blood, I'm so much more of an own business person. I felt when I was employed by someone else, I might go back there one day. You don't know how long this YouTube thing lasts for, but for me, it was so many tasks that I started to get burnt out on. It's like, I don't see the point of this, and this is so inefficient. Why am I the one doing this? And then also, clients, for example, that are not always super fun to deal with, was also one of those things that I didn't leave. At the end of it, I didn't leave my job every evening feeling fulfilled, rather almost annoyed. And I think it was also partially because I had such a rough schedule. It was pretty much the same as you were doing. I worked 9 to 5, sometimes longer, came home in the evening. I managed to have a quick gym session, eat some food. Then I sat and edited the videos until midnight, went to bed, get up at 7, 9 to 5, get home, edit videos, go to bed at midnight. And then I worked about 12-hour days during the weekend to get my videos done for the coming week. So
midnight, that's early.
You amateur, gotta get on that YouTube brand.
Harry this, you casual.
You only work 16-hour days? Wow, you casual.
I know, right? And that's kind of the struggle is people almost expect you to be dissatisfied by your job. So when you say that you're dissatisfied by your job, they're like, yeah, that's the standard. That's what you should expect. Yeah. That's horrible.
It is horrible.
It's horrible that we all have to do jobs that we hate, that we despise, that make us feel unfulfilled, that make us feel like we're not accomplishing anything.
Yes.
We're making a lot of coin for other people's pockets, and sometimes that's no more clear than in some of the jobs that we were just doing.
Of course. And sometimes I think it's also important to know that even when you do your quote-unquote dream job, for example, this for me is pretty much my dream job, at least right now. Even with a job like this, people often hype it up to be they over-romanticize it. Like the majority of my work I do with YouTube is that I sit alone in my studio, I edit videos in Sony Vegas. That's like 6 hours a video. It's not very flashy, Hollywood romantic, that kind of stuff. You still sit by a desk, you do your thing. The end product is something you're personally passionate about, and it's something you drive for. But the majority of the hours are still not. It's romanticized, I think. So whatever work you do, I think the majority of the hours are not going to be super exciting. Are not going to be fireworks and boats and yachts and So.
On my side, a lot of people think, oh, wow, you get paid a day's job's worth of money for only working 20 minutes because they see an end product. They see a video that's 20 minutes long. Not realizing it takes, about 8 hours to edit that 20 minutes and about 2 hours to research the images and record your audio. And also all the management you have to do on the YouTube side, uploading it, picking tags, doing a thumbnail, all of that. It's so much time put into everything.
Wrestling with monetization, censoring pictures, censoring swear words, everything like that. I mean, it takes a long time. I would say an average video on my channel probably takes about 10 hours total, something like that.
Which I'm surprised. Your edits are so clean.
Oh, thank
but
you,
with
man.
10 hour per video, you can start doing daily uploads. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, daily uploads. I think I have a little backlog of videos right now, mainly because it seems that my channel did a bit of a bug out, so I can't get my videos through the manual review right now. So the videos that get monetized, I'm actually holding off on. And I'm uploading videos like, well, the video that talked about my channel taking down, Noah get the boat, doing some stuff that is usually demonetized while I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
And then I can get
something to get people's attention, to show them that you're back.
Exactly. And then I can bring in the videos
back
that actually...
in the algorithm.
Yes. And then I can bring in the videos that pay the rent when the monetization is back on track. My channel is they're partnered, but somehow I think they bugged up the like Google account link or something, because I can't access the creator support. My videos that I send in for manual review don't seem to actually land with anyone. And when I go to and sign up for example, the verification badge on your channel, I don't get a verification email that they actually received it. So I think when they reactivated the channel, they forgot some kind of creator connection somewhere.
It's either that or like it's on a slow rollout, but either case, that shouldn't be the thing. Like it should be once you get your channel back, everything is there. Especially in a case where they screwed up, fam.
Yes, big time. They finally got on the case in the end, so it's going to be a happy ending. But my God, what a mess.
I do talk about quite often about how YouTube has 5 billion accounts and how it's incredibly difficult for them to manage anyone. But an account that's actually making money, they should probably pay attention to.
Yeah,
I don't want to say like it has greater priority, but from a business perspective, even if they have 5 billion accounts, if they delete an account that's making a few $1,000s a month, that's kind of a big deal. Like
and it costs them money too.
Big loss.
They take 40% of the ad rev from every channel, before we see it. So it's like they lose a lot of money on that too. And it's not like we are super big channels, but I mean a channel that almost 200,000 people follow my channel right now. It's like it's still like it's a pretty decently big number, and for that to be so easily discarded, it kind of shocked me. It's like, I get that I'm not freaking PewDiePie,
not PewDiePie.
Obviously.
Yeah,
but still, it's like
the other Swedish.
I'm PewDiePie Junior, baby. But it surprised me that a channel that was actually had a decent size, that had a partnership, that had all these things, just was so easily just dismissed. Pew. And obviously, it was
only one good thing. There's only one good thing from my perspective that that happened when your channel went down, which was my sub count started catching up.
Oh yeah,
but
I remember you.
But totally not worth it.
I remember you
trade all
teased
those
me.
Subs.
Oh, I remember you teased me a couple of days before the channel come back, like, "Hey man, if it stays down longer, I'm gonna catch up with you."
Yeah, I think we were in pretty good spirits around that point, because we're like, it's starting to get reviewed. At least we're getting some traction. It's after the holidays. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
at that point, it was just like the day before we were quite... At that point, we had received good news that it actually landed with the right team, so we were positive.
Exactly.
But man, it took...
And you've taken everything in good stride so far.
It was...
Even though all of this has been incredibly stressful, and this is like your career that was suddenly, the carpet was yanked out from under you and you didn't know where you were going to land.
In
At
1
least,
week...
you're able to take all this in stride.
Yeah, I hope so. I think, obviously it was stressful, but hopefully I dealt with it in a relatively healthful fashion and healthy fashion. And that was the weird thing. That was a shock about it. I think that made it difficult because I went full time. So I basically had, holidays. I was off from my day job. I get off from it officially in the middle of February, but, it's starting to slow down already. And so I had gone on Christmas vacation, so I didn't have a day job. And suddenly my YouTube channel was spontaneously terminated. So I went from working like 70-hour weeks to not, like, I don't have any jobs now all of a sudden. What do I do? I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, well, now what? What? What is going on? And it's so hard going from that extreme. It's so hard to fill up your day and not just walk around, just pacing around, just waiting for the channel to come back. And I did that way too much. That's like feedback I have for myself. I did that way too much. I should have just seen it as a involuntary vacation and just get out of the house and do fun things. But it's so hard when you're like, something could land any second that I need immediate attention for. It's like you're in constant standby for 2 weeks. It was horrendous.
I worked at another company for about 4 years, and then I was downsized. The department I was working in was downsized, and Upon the exit, which was very amicable, everyone's very kind, I didn't have another job lined up because it wasn't expected. I was expecting to stay there for quite a long time. I should have felt like that period after that job was a bit of a vacation, but when you don't know what the next step is or when the next step happens, it's impossible to see that as a break, because that is all of a sudden your constant. And if your constant is unemployed and you need employment for literally everything, including your housing, your food, your vacation itself, then you can't, there's nothing to spend against other than your savings, which is very nerve-wracking.
Because then you're actually starting to pull,
I'm just going
pull the
backwards
margins.
now. Yeah. Exactly. I'm getting even further away from retirement if I do this.
No, it's not. Oh God, no, it's not. It's not vacation if you're in limbo. Like if you don't know how you're gonna pay next month's rent, it's not vacation. Vacation is if you don't have work right now, but you know you will get back to it in X amount of days, and you know it's secure once you get back. You know what the future is. You can relax. It's secure.
Exactly.
That's a vacation. A vacation isn't like, hey, you spontaneously maybe got fired. We're going to look into it. Hold on. That's not a vacation.
Yeah. Well, now we are... Oof. I mean, you can officially say you're a YouTuber, which is still very strange for me to think. But
that was...
quite soon, I'll have to start thinking about myself that way.
Well, you are
like
pretty much a YouTuber already.
2 weeks.
Well,
YouTuber.
you actually get free sooner than I do, so you're going to be like full time before me.
Oh, that's right. You have a lot more to offload than I do. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's easier for the company that I work at if they do a clean cut. Like I've got so many projects up in the air, but if they can get someone else on board on those projects right away, then it's no problem. I can just step away.
Okay. Yeah. My company wants me to
more like a personal handoffs.
Yeah, it's more like project management personally with the client. So it's like they want me to personally hand it over to my the next person pretty much. And that's why it takes time. But it's not like, I wouldn't say it's a full-time job until that point, because it's more like I shouldn't open new cases. This is more like closing the stuff that is open and making sure the handovers work. So it's relatively chill, but yeah, still not completely free.
Did I show you the... So you know how sometimes when we upload videos and we're like, how did someone dislike this video?
Yeah,
It's positive. It's got a good message. I felt pretty good about the edit. I sent you that image of someone commenting on the eye bleach video, right?
Wait, which comment is that?
Let's see if I can pull it up. So I uploaded an eye bleach video, and it was one of the most amazing things I had ever seen was that someone thought that I did a poor job. I'm like, it's literally just cute animals. What are you talking about? So the comment is, in all caps, "You ruined this for me because of your stupid voices." And I was like, what? I mean, fair enough, fam. Like, not everyone has to be a fan of my voice, but what? No. It was literally just cute animals. Whatever. But I was just watching my subscriber numbers just now, and every time it goes down by one, it hits me in the feels, man.
Oh,
it was like it's 111975, but then went 111974, and I went, oh, what did I do? What did I say that was worth unsubscribing from the channel? I'm sorry.
Maybe it was just some old account that got deleted because they were inactive.
Maybe that.
Yeah, don't sweat it.
There were times, especially in the early days, when I would stay up. I mean, I had a few thousand subscribers, but every time I saw a comment come in that was not positive, that was someone reacting to something that I'd put up in a quite negative way, I'd always respond to them. I'd constantly reach out, and it would take like hours to get back and forth until we'd end in an amicable place. There's a lot of like chat threads and histories in previous videos, but I can't do that forever.
No.
I can't continue to comment to everyone. I realized that a few weeks ago when I was up till about 3 a.m. talking to someone about how important it was to look at something from both sides and to not just discuss a topic from only one direction.
Yeah.
And they quite objected to that because they said, well, no, this will encourage people from the other perspective to start finding your videos, and this will no longer be a safe place for myself. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but it's important to realize that the community at large will benefit even if one individual doesn't. And I tried to make that person feel better by saying, the community will still be overall quite positive. Even if we have a few trolls come in, I think we can convert them.
Oh, was it after? Was it after people from my channel started coming over, like more of the cursed people, or was it something?
I think this was before you and I started collaborating. I think it was actually before you and I had ever spoken.
Okay. Interesting.
I think it's before I met Damien, actually.
Oh, it's like way back in the day.
Oh, well, way back a couple
Way
months
back,
ago,
like
man.
3 months ago.
Well, in terms of the internet, that is a very long time ago.
It is a very long time ago. Things move fast here. They move very fast, for better or worse.
In my case, I hope better. But
Yes.
I was I reached out to Damien first. He was really receptive. He wanted to make a video right away. We scheduled some time. We made like 3 videos in one go, and then we met up and made a couple more. And then I think I reached out to you.
Yeah, you reached
Instagram.
out to my an Instagram DM, and I was just scrolling through my
Slid into those
DMs.
DMs.
Yeah, and it was, most of the DMs I get on Instagram are kind of spammy. And you have to accept them before they actually go in your proper inbox. I was just scrolling through, like, okay, anything interesting that popped in, someone that is asking a genuine question, or someone that made a really cute piece of fan art that I want to congratulate them on, or something like that. And I just went one topic at a time, like, isn't this a YouTuber? Like, And I think,
Had you actually heard of me at that point?
yes, I knew about your channel because I think one of your
it's
Noah
probably the
videos
Damien
it got recommended in my feed because of my own Noah videos.
Yeah, that would have been me and Damien. That's
so I was like, oh yeah, this is a channel, and I think we had like 2 messages sent to each other on Instagram. So like, hey man, I like your videos, and I was like, oh hey, hit me up on Discord, and we will voice chat instead. And
that's right, yeah.
and we started talking, and after we talked for like an hour, you said like, hey man, want to record a video? I'm like, oh hell yeah.
I don't even think it was an hour. I think it was just like it was a couple messages back and forth, and then you were like, is your voice chat available?
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I was working that day, but I was working from home, so very luckily I had the opportunity to connect with you.
Oh, that is true. I remember that.
Like from a business perspective, that opened up a ton of doors, but like from an interpersonal perspective, I met one of my really good friends who is now the Click, and that's amazing.
Hey.
And then I ended up meeting everyone else kind of like through you, even though so Damien had like hinted that he was part of a larger community group where everyone hung out and talked about different subjects and stuff, but he never went out of his way to try and include me, probably because he's trying to do 200 things at once when only a normal human could handle.
His schedule
maybe 2 or
is
3.
filled to the brim. Yeah.
He is an amazing person with no time for anything.
Yeah, that describes it very well. Yeah.
He's like a young Elon Musk. He's going places for sure.
Yeah, he's the young Elon Musk version of a YouTuber or streamer.
Exactly. Like if anyone were to approach this as a passion project and a business, he's got the balance down pat. He's amazing. But yeah, you had a little bit more spare time, so you actually like hit up Oz and you're like, hey, there's this guy. We did a video. I think you should invite him to our little group.
Oh yeah.
And then Oz messaged me a couple weeks later and was like, hey, I've been busy, but do you want to join the group? And then here I am, fangirling over everyone. You're like, hello, and then sitting quietly in the corner while everyone talks around me.
Oh yeah,
I would join the audio calls just to kind of like listen in because I'm like, I know all of you. I watch all your stuff.
Yeah, I had the exact same feeling when I joined the group because I was also pretty late in. It was like after me, I think Core joined, and I think after that Tululi joined, and then you joined. So I'm like the next latest person or whatever you want to say. But I also got in there, and that was before my channel like actually started growing properly. So I only had like 60K subs maybe.
Only.
It was like only.
That's a lot.
It's still a big number, but you lose perspective.
It's so many people.
You feel so narcissistic. It's horrendous. But so my channel was small relative to everybody else, and I got invited by Salty because we were talking about doing collab. I actually hit him up like, hey, do you want to do collab? You seem like a cool dude. And he invited me there. And I was sitting in that chat like, should I write a message like saying, hi, glad to be here? I'm like, hey, crap. Damien from MK is here. We got freaking Oz Media. Illuminati. It's like, all the big shots are here. Like, here's little me. Like, hello. So I think I made like a stupid joke the first thing I made. Like,
hey, so this is where all the cool kids hang. Haha, winky smiley.
So awkward.
So awkward. Oh man.
And now everyone has to be subjected to your humor at all times.
Yes. Now I'm that little creature in the corner that makes the really inappropriate jokes, and everybody's just standing at the other end of the room like, oh my God. I'm like the Gollum of this group.
You said something that was pretty interesting, which was that you had the perspective that it wasn't a lot of subscribers. Like, each one of those numbers is a human, but
yes,
the weird thing is the way that we're approaching this podcast is every time we see it go up by even one, we're very excited.
Yeah, it's like,
and we're like, oh my goodness, whoa, look, another person subscribed. We've even reached 4,160 people as of this recording.
With one video.
Our first podcast is at 9,218 views. That's amazing.
Jesus, it's almost at 10K. Holy
It's almost
crap.
at 10,000 views.
What? That is so
Isn't that
good.
so cool?
My
and it's
God.
like 44 minutes of audio of us just rambling and ranting about different things.
Yeah, the only thing
about your
happening
channel deletion.
Yes. Yeah, the only thing happening in the video is like the spectrum graphic we have edited in.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes it a bit more
It takes
flashy.
you a long time to render.
It takes
Yeah,
like fucking 5 hours to render one of these videos because of that graphic. Otherwise, it would take 10 minutes if it's just one picture and the audio. But now it takes 5 hours because of this spectrum graphic that's flashing in the middle.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it, fam.
I think in the future, I'm going to have to upgrade my microphone. Having the record mute button right on the device is kind of distracting. Like when I click it, it pops into the audio, puts that click in there. I'm going to have to hit you up for recommendations on what type of mic to use in the future. And then also what type of editing software. I realized in our secret project, maybe it's called Sad Milk, maybe not, that my audio was not quite as clean as everyone else. So I think that having a better recording software to clean up my audio will probably be best, in addition to a better microphone.
I mean, a first step, if you don't want to look into new software, I can just send you the template of the settings I use, because if you have access to basic equalizers and stuff, spectrums, frequency spectrums, you don't?
I don't at all.
Okay,
No.
okay, yeah. Then we need to hit you up with some proper stuff.
Exactly.
Because your audio here in the podcast sounds pretty good after I've been mixing with it a bit. So I think your mic is fine. You just need a proper software to fix it.
That's fair. Yeah. On my side, when I hit it up into my program, so the program that I use is only meant to be for making tutorial videos for how to use technology software. Is literally how this editing software is advertised. And I think perhaps in the future I'll talk a little bit more about why I use it. Specifically because it has like no features, but it has the ability to do some sound reduction and to do some leveling and stuff and some noise removal. So there's like basic little tweaks I can do, but it's not very complicated. Like I can't build mounds or however you build hills, build
exactly.
spikes.
The frequency.
What do you say? You build something?
It's like I only know the technical terms in Swedish, but it's like.
Oh yeah, tell us those. Well,
it's what was it called? Lågpassfilter, högpassfilter. It's basically what part of the frequency spectrum
the
you
low
decrease.
pass filter.
Yes, low pass filter and high pass. So basically, yeah, look at that. You're learning Swedish. Look at you. So yeah, basically just means which part of the spectrum you're targeting. So essentially, if you want to do what I do, just the very basics of audio processing is that you have your spectrum from 20 hertz to 20K. You pull down the very lowest ones, like the one from 20K and below. You pull that down a bit, and you pull down the very top, like 18K plus, something like that. After that, you pull up the semi-high spectrums, like around maybe 10K, 8K, something like that, and that gives it a slight bit more crisp. And then you pull up the semi-bass ones, because that will fill it up more. So the only thing you don't touch essentially is the middle, because that makes it sound very like you're talking in a can, kind of. So if you pull up the bass a little bit and you pull up the top a little bit, it gets more crisp and also a bit more bassy, almost a bit more filly. And then after that, what I do is that I have a second equalizer. And I go through the entire spectrum and listen for small noises like whistles in the mic, bad acoustics, vibrations in the equipment, that kind of stuff. And I turn
People
those
jumping up and down upstairs.
Yeah, I can't cancel that. Sadly, I can only cancel specific frequencies.
No, I know.
But for example, if there's a whistle in your specific mic that always occur at, let's say, 6 kilohertz, you pull that down a couple of decibels. So that specific whistle in your acoustics, it's like you dampen it a bit. And that's why this audio sounds more crisp.
Did you ever watch that show Bones?
I have watched it, yes, many years ago.
There was an amazing scene in one of the courtrooms where the defense of a defendant was that the audio that was recorded through a filter couldn't possibly be them, because the only way to unscramble the audio was that it would end up sounding like any human. So the prosecution's example was that if they pulled it back in very specific ways and edited it, that it would sound exactly like the defendant. It was 100% that person talking. But the defense's side was that they manipulated it in a different way, and then it was just a woman talking when the person on the stand was actually a man. So the thing that I really liked in the show was that they did not at all edit the audio. They had a filter, and they did like a slight overlap to regular audio, and then they just had the actor speak the lines, and then they did the same thing with like a stock voice. It was so funny. But some of the manipulations that you do for the audio is quite clean. It's very good.
Oh yeah, cheers.
I think it's so funny when movies are trying to be like, yes, we're totally technical. This definitely happens. So do trust us.
Oh yeah, God. I've seen some of these videos on YouTube that think that the more gain you have in your mic, the more of like the voices in your throat you catch pretty much. Not ASMR, but like videos that the voiceovers are like, welcome to the video. Today we're gonna. It's like no, that's not how you do audio. For the love of God.
Oh my ears. No, I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked that I have a pop filter now. That's really cool. And I also have a microphone arm, which I have not set up. I'm sitting on my carpeted floor right now with some audio dampening foam scattered around me because it just came in the mail. And
nice.
This is the best little location I can record in where it won't actually wake up human one. And it'll get like the least jumpy, uppy, downy noises from upstairs.
Oh, perfect. You can also, one trick I used before I had my closet with isolation stuff in it is that I actually sat with my mic on a chair and I put a blanket over me and the mic.
I did that in our set, in our secret project.
Oh.
And it kind of worked, but then it got too hot, and I also had to lean over a lot, so my voice sounds a bit weird. But it was I don't know if I can do that for everyone.
Yeah. No, probably not. I mean, you'll be all sweaty and hot under there, you know.
But if I'm going to be a hey, don't do that. But if I'm going to be a professional, then I have to start dampening out the audio so that it's just me and not people running around upstairs getting caught. Because no one wants to listen to a professional who can't have sound isolation. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean,
I've seen enough PewDiePie videos where people watch him no matter what he does, even when he goes like, jumps out of a closet in the wall. That thing would never support my weight. He's so thin.
Yeah, he's
my
not.
Goodness.
I don't even think he's that tall, to be honest. If I remember correctly, I've always imagined him to be taller
for someone
than
in Sweden.
I am.
Yeah, no, he's so he says he's 180 centimeters.
Yeah, I always imagine him to be
true.
like 195 or something like that.
Yeah, no, he's 170. He's taller than Mark, taller than Jack, but not by much. And Jack is. So if I was going by inches for those North American folks who are still using inches, then we'd be looking at something like 5'6" for Jack, Septiceye, or 5'7". So PewDiePie would be something like 5'8" or 5'9", which would be something like 174 centimeters? 170... Wait, no, hang on. 108... Yeah, 172, maybe?
That is...
If I'm doing my math correct.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I feel like he's not a giant. And in terms of how tall people are in Sweden, that's not very tall. But in North America, that's still above average. So all the Vikings came in and just ruined all the short people.
And of course, we came in and kidnapped the good genes. You know, that's how it works.
Oh, we came in.
Yeah.
So you're one of the select few that remain that was good looking. Wow,
of course,
good for your ancestors.
Yeah, no worries, fam. I'm modest like that. It's like,
after speaking to my
I'm-
grandmother about my
I'm-
family tree,
I have a
she-
super popular channel. I'm super handsome. I'm also modest.
so humble.
Oh, God.
After talking to my grandmother about our ancestors, there's a lot
oh
of
yeah.
a lot of Swedish Vikings in our past as well.
Swedish Vikings. Well, the Swedes
Yeah.
did a pretty good job at, kidnapping the most beautiful people and bringing them back home to the motherland.
Oh God, it's not untrue.
No, it's not. That's actually like the myth. That's like, why are Swedish people like tall and blonde and stuff on average? And it's like, yeah, it's because they kidnapped all the people they found good looking. I'm not sure how much of it is actually true, but I mean, it's not completely impossible.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for everything that's coming up for you. I'm excited for everything that's coming up for me because I'm selfish.
Oh, it's going to be so cool. And it's so cool that we're going full time, like at the same time as well.
Yes.
It's like, oh, it's so good. And it's going to be so fun because we
Take
can
this
do...
plunge together, sir.
Yes. We're going down together, fam. We still have to meet up in real life as well. I've never shook your buff hand, my man.
Did you say hand?
Yeah, your
I
buff
missed
hand.
that, sorry.
Yeah, your
buff hand.
shook
Oh.
your buff hand. I was actually not
There's a
dirty
lot of
for
guys
once.
at the gym that do specific hand workouts where they roll the dumbbell out on their fingers and roll it back, and that like works out the forearms and the muscles in the hands. But my hand muscles have mostly been developed probably from a lot of the pulling exercises, but also bench and stuff.
Oh yeah, that helps a
And
lot.
overhead press.
Yeah.
But I don't focus specifically on my... Yeah, so sure. I'll be happy to shake your thin hand there, Click.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for making... At least I'm taller, so there you go. I have that going for me.
Taller? Oh, yeah. You are a bit taller than me. That's so funny. Which just means that were we to spar, you'd have to punch down, but I could punch up. Severe
there you go.
advantage to me.
But no worries, my balls are really hard, so you'll hurt your hands. It's fine.
I always found that... Wait, what? I always
Yeah.
found that to be a weird... a weird advantage that people I sparred with at the dojos was that they had the entire canvas of my body with which to hit with strikes.
Yeah.
But since I was aiming down, I had a reduced area that I could hit them in.
Yeah,
So
it's like
while
a
I could
weird
reach
angle.
further, I couldn't quite strike their entire body like they could strike mine, which is really cool to see that kind of dynamic. Because you think, wow, a big person obviously going to win.
Yeah.
But not always the case.
No, it's not always the case. When I did karate back in the day, the like sensei of my karate style came from Japan, and he's like, this super tiny, probably 160 tall Japanese man, weighed like 50 kilos, really small dude. And I remember he told our Swedish champion at the time, like, okay, get out, stand in front of me and try to defend yourself. And he was like, a decently big guy, pretty in good shape, like maybe 25 years old at the time, pretty buff. And it took up like 1.5 seconds. He was lying on the floor screaming in pain. I was like, oh, what happened? It's like, it's one really tiny Japanese old man who looks completely harmless. And he just took down like one of the scariest dudes I know. It's like, what? that was something.
I love there was a news article going around recently about one of the 80-year-old bodybuilders in America, 80-something-year-old, who had her home broken into, and she beat up the person who was breaking into her home. And I'm like, yes, fam. She's like when I'm old, that's who I'm going to be. I'm going to be still going to the gym, still crushing it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be like
my goal.
If your grandkids, your granddaughter or something, they have a weird boy after them. It's not the dad taking care of it; it's the granddad coming in like, listen here, boy, I'ma whoop your ass.
I'll be sad for the day that I can't pick up my grandkids over top of my head. I think that'll be the thing. Like once I hit like 90, I'll probably have to not lift them over my head, I guess.
Interesting question. Speaking of growing old, if you had to choose, would you keep your head or would you keep your body?
I don't know what that means. Like
It's
when
like
I
when you grow
get dementia, or
Yeah, it's like, if you had to choose, would you you either get stuck in a wheelchair or you start, getting dementia or getting some more mental illness?
Well, if we look at the progression that wheelchairs have made, even in the last couple decades, I can only imagine that they'll get not only better, but more affordable. So as long as I crush it financial-wise throughout life, then I think I'd rather keep my mind.
You get like a cyborg wheelchair, like Transformer.
Exactly. If we were maybe like 50 years ago or 100 years ago, and I was tasked primarily with manual labor, I'd probably want to keep my body. That way, it didn't matter what I was thinking. I could still provide for my family or whatever. I could just lift whatever rebar or blocks of wood I had to keep them supported and fed.
Yeah, that is a good.
Yeah, in this case, keep my mind.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty standard for us because we're sitting most of the time, anyways.
It is. Yeah, yeah. Like I would hate to lose like my physical ability, but I don't think I would be able to enjoy life if I lost my mind. Honestly, even if I was in amazing shape, it's like if you can't interact with the world, if you can't analyze things, if you can't interact with the world like you want to, there you go.
Yeah, you'd be trapped.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
No escape.
Yeah. And
the good thing is that depending on how far you've lost your mind, you might not have the capacity to realize that you've lost it. So
yes.
There could be some real benefits to just keeping the body and losing the mind. I don't know. You could be happier.
You'll just get a manager. Get a manager for the YouTube channel. You'll sit and read really weird memes and just like,
oh, I've never seen this one before.
You've read this? It's like a 30-minute video, and you just scroll through the same 3 memes over and over. Oh God.
Oh, our channels in the future are going to be really weird. Yes, as long as YouTube's still around. But even if YouTube's not around, like per our example of PewDiePie, if he left the YouTube platform and he went to another one, millions of people would follow him. Whatever he would move to would become almost like the next standard as the runner-up to YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Google has literally all of the money in the world and all of the data. I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. I don't think their video platform is going to have a real competitor for a long time. But once they do, all they have to do is what DLive is doing to Twitch, which is just pull the biggest people away.
Yeah.
And it will funnel people over there. It will make that a sustainable and a viable platform. Even if it's not the big thing, it will be the next big thing.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as we make good stuff that people connect with, I think they'll probably follow us wherever we go.
Hopefully, cool. Yeah. YouTube is a really good starting place.
I love you, beardos and weirdos, by the way. Love you guys.
Please follow me wherever I go.
But I think YouTube has some competitors in some sense, but it's more in very narrow fields. It's like I noticed some more after there's been drama and stuff on YouTube. I noticed, for example, political circles make like separate video services. You have more adult services for video streaming, of course. So there are competitors, but in very niche fields. So for the general public, YouTube is very much still the go-to.
If they had, so the way YouTube is going very much towards the whole corporate aspect, if then a competitor came out for just the smaller creators and it was monetized, boom, people would bail instantly in a heartbeat. Yeah. Because the thing the smaller creators are having trouble with is not just the exposure, it's just get crushed out of the algorithm by all of the late night TV. There's so many people that want to watch Stephen Colbert, that want to watch Jimmy Kimmel, that want to watch Jimmy Fallon.
Yep. There you go, fam.
They'll never find our videos.
No,
and
they
that
won't.
goes even for teenagers or young adults, like in their early 20s, that are just trying to find funny Reddit videos. They're getting crushed out by all these other corporate entities.
Yeah, and it's safe for YouTube because
individual people.
And YouTube knows that, these late night shows, they have already been reviewed by, a corporate team, and they are safe.
Instantly
it's
monetized.
It's instantly monetized. It's easy content. It's already available to TV. It's publicly acceptable. They don't have to take the risk with one individual saying something weird in a Reddit video. That's why we have to go through so much reviews.
You.
Yes.
And all the weird stuff you say.
Of course,
There's limits, man. Every Noah Get the Boat video that you do, I always wonder why. I wonder why you went there, and I wonder how your mind got there.
Well, my mind is a beautiful place, good sir.
If you lost your mind when you're old, I think I'd be fine with that.
Well, I already lost my mind. There you go. Not much left of this.
That's true. So I feel a lot of excitement for what's coming up next. Do you feel any fear about switching to this?
Not really, no. At least this hasn't hit me yet. I'm still very positive, and I think the fact remains that I planned out my economical aspect and stuff pretty well before I did the leap. So I made sure that I have a good savings account, I have margins, I have some funds. So even if this thing flops, I'll be fine for like at least a couple of years without issue.
Right.
So in that sense,
And that's a challenging thing. That doesn't mean that we have a lot of money. It means that, good at finances.
oh yeah, of
Which
course,
just
yeah.
means
You don't
never go to
buy,
Starbucks.
yeah, you
No
don't
avocado toast.
you don't buy
Only
3 new
groceries.
cars, as soon as you go YouTube full time. You don't go on a shopping
3 new.
spree.
Okay, maybe you're a little bit better off than I am. I'm just used to working a few jobs at a time, so I've stuck like everything that I've made back into savings.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
one person just unsubscribed. Oh, that made me sad.
No, I'm gonna lose my
But
channel.
then, like if I tried to stick this out for a year,
Yeah.
and it failed, I would be okay. I still have a good resume. I can still go out and find another job.
oh yeah.
But I'm going to give it that full year. If in January 2021 I have found that this is not the right path, that's the point when I start looking out and looking around for another job. But until then, this is the solid thing that I'm doing.
Oh yeah. I think
This
that's a
is what
good
I'm
time
excited
frame
for.
because then you give it an honest chance, but you don't leave it for so long that if it doesn't go well, it just starts to rot, and you have to take a job, just whatever it is, because you waited too long.
One of my continual regrets that I've had since back in the day, the early days of YouTube, of not starting an account then and not putting out videos, is that so many people did that. They didn't have to have great content, and then they evolved as they went. But the thing is that I've had to realize, even just starting this now, is that back then I didn't have as much of a story to tell as those people.
Oh, yeah.
And now that I've become the person who can tell the story, I am now a person who can make a living at this, whereas before I would have just been any number of the other people that tried to make a YouTube channel and failed.
Oh yeah.
Mine would have gone under instantly. I've had a secret YouTube channel before where I put out videos and nobody watched them.
Aww.
And until I found this little niche that I was having so much fun with.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, not a lot of attention was paid to it. Totally understandable too. Because
Yeah,
this is weird enough to get people's attentions while still being wholesome enough that people want to stick around.
Well, that's why you have me, good sir. I pull you over in that little direction of cursed, but without pulling you in completely. Although,
You keep trying to curse me. Oh my
yes,
God. I swear,
curse me.
I'm acting so well. I'm trying to accept you. I have to act every time we talk just so I can let things slide. But oh my God, everything you do makes me uncomfortable.
Illuminati said that she was proud of the way I cursed you, so that's cool.
I know. I'm starting to learn everyone's humor, so I'm trying to gauge my humor for them rather than what I would find funny. So
Aww.
I can dip my toes into the cursed pool, but
Hey, what are we gonna record today? I know, a number 6 Get to Know a video. Oh God! No.
sink it.
Sink the boat, fam. Sink the boat, leave no one alive.
Exactly. We don't need anything else left after this.
Oh, man.
I love some of the recent videos I got a chance to work on. Like, there's a lot of controversial topics that I want to talk about, not necessarily Noah Get the Boat, but other ones like furry videos. My goodness, I have a lot of fun with those. They are so good because I don't understand it at all.
Oh,
I don't
like a
connect with it.
furry IRL stuff, or
Yeah, furry IRL. I don't connect with it. I don't find anthropomorphizing animals to be attractive or appealing. It's just a thing that exists. There's a huge community around it. And when I dive in, I learn something new every time. And while I find it weird, there's nothing like negative or adverse about it. And I like doing that for so many different things, but that one definitely sticks out as like, I am learning. I'm just here to learn. I'm an observer, and now I'm out. Yeet.
Yeah, I think the furry community, it's so easy to meme about, but it's important to remember that it's the extreme of it that we meme about.
Yeah.
And that goes for pretty much
Very
anything.
niche, like 1%.
Yes, the same thing goes for like insane parents. Those kind of videos we make. It's like the things you look at are like the Christian parents that went way overboard. Like most parents, anywhere are pretty fine, but it's not 0.1% that just went completely nutter, and that's what we're memeing about because it's worth memeing about because they're silly.
Yep. That is. Yeah. No, that's yeah. There's a lot of niche groups in every community. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Christian fam out there. If you preach love, obviously love.
Yes.
But same thing for everyone else is just if you have core values, if your community has core values, maybe reflect them if you want to be part of that group.
Yeah, of course.
Like for us, we accept pretty much all people, I think, you and I, other than like those who adversely affect the others that are around them. Like if you hate people, I'm not that cool with you.
No, as long as you don't harm others or actively hate others for no apparent reason, I mean, I don't really mind what you do. I mean, the more happiness in the world, the better.
Which is funny because the more clickable things that we can find on YouTube are the ones that are more controversial. Like anyone
Yes.
who's throwing up a lot of smoke, who's hating on a lot of people, they're going to get a lot of views because people are
course.
like, why would you do this? Why would you take this approach? Why would
People
you think
like
this?
drama and people like controversy. I think it was actually someone made an interesting point about gossip and drama. It was like, why are we so interested by it? Why is this a thing? And I think I'm not an expert in the field, so don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, like the psychological explanation is that it's like our way of investigating our social landscape. Like we like gossip because we can find out information about people that maybe we would not find out otherwise. So for example, if there's gossip about, oh, this person screwed someone over in some way, and it's like, okay, staying away from that person. It's like, it's more of a social survival mechanism and getting to learn the community without necessarily interacting with every single one. Of course, there's a lot of bias. I don't claim that to be like a scientific way of investigating people, but that's like the psychological aspect to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the value of information that people see a limited amount of access to.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the fear of missing out being played out through conversational values. Like if someone said, "I know a thing, and only I know this thing, but I'm willing to share it with you," you'll find that a lot more valuable than, "Oh, isn't it great that we're all getting along? Isn't that what?"
Yes. Yeah.
So what really impresses me about what we do as a little community, our little circle, is that we all stay pretty wholesome. We're not going out and attacking people. We're not causing a bunch of kerfuffle or controversy.
No, our
and
curse
we could
stuff
still
is like,
potentially make a living from this.
of course, our curse
Like I
stuff
said,
is like the
if it
humor
crashes and
itself.
burns, like
it's
obviously
like,
bad, but
yeah, we put inappropriate jokes. That's pretty much it. We don't target people. That's the difference. We don't we don't make a video like XXX YouTuber exposed. You know, oh, look at this drama. Like this person, it's bad. We never do stuff like that. It's more like, yeah, haha, this inappropriate joke. Haha, penis joke. Ha, my uncle.
I did do one
uncle
on,
touchy joke.
I did do one on Brooke Houts after she uploaded that unedited video. That was a thing that I commented on.
With
that's
Brooke,
one of my
is that the one with the cat with the
No,
animal?
that's a different one. Who yeeted a cat over her shoulder? No,
Yeah,
Brooke Houts has a large dog and she's a short person, and she Oh,
look at that! What have you done?
good luck. There's a lot of emergency services around here. The fire station is not that far away.
Well, they need to put some water on this hot steaming podcast, you know. Hey.
Gross. No, Brookhouse has a dog, and she feels like the best way to train it is to portray in her videos that she's quite positive and loving and caring, but then behind the scenes, whenever her dog doesn't listen to her a couple times, she gets right in and manipulates the dog physically. One of the big things that I had a problem with was not necessarily one of the pushes that she gave the dog. Like when it was jumping up, she pushed it to kind of keep it down. It was everything else around that. It was how she tackled the dog, pinned it to the ground, spat on it, how she like leaned in and yelled in its ear. There's a lot of things that you do to an animal that doesn't train it in a learnable, positive way.
No,
like
that scares it.
Everything she was preaching was correct, and then everything she was doing was so wrong.
I like the textbook example
that I
of a
felt comfortable
hypocrite.
commenting on. Because I love animals, and I don't like seeing them treated that way.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you take ownership of an animal, it's you're basically like a parent to it.
Yeah,
So treat it right.
definitely. Well, that's a good message to end on, isn't it? I think we've been
so.
recording for almost an hour now.
Yeah, we have. The episodes are getting longer, man, but that means it's good. We have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Especially you and I going full time. That's exciting.
Yes.
And then our
it's
lives
fun.
around that and whatnot.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
And we're going to have time to do so many side projects, and it's going to be easy to fit it in the schedule. I'm looking forward to it. Like,
Oh, so much easier.
and the
when
fact
we
that you
all
don't have to
time.
work until midnight every day, it's like, I feel like I get my life back. It's so good. Oh,
Midnight's an early night. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Midnight is so
pretty
early.
much.
It's like 2 a.m. for me. I'm dying slowly.
oh man.
Well, I did the intro. You want to do the outro?
Oh, for sure, I can do the outro. Well, Squad fam at home, thank you for listening to two not at all boomers talking about things we find interesting. Now we're all full time, and that's going to be dandy, finalicious. Oh, heck yeah, I hope you're looking forward to next episode. It's going to be so fantastic-delicious, and you're going to...
Oh, subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe. I forgot. It's been an hour and we didn't say it. Subscribe.
Oh yeah, subscribe, y'all, so you will be notified when we release new videos. And go subscribe to our main channels as well if you feel like you haven't suffered enough through this video. Oh man, oh we're so bad at marketing ourselves. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, night, time, or whatever time you live, and we will see you in the next video. Mwah.
God, every time I stop.
Oh yeah.